Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War campaign 27, week 9. So of course, week 9 we are getting near the end of the current campaign. Technically get the tarot card today, but of course as per usual, nothing really to go and end up using it on. Where is it actually? Oh, there it is, that one right there. But of course the main thing we're going to be getting is 1 week from today, where we, of course, end up getting the Mythic, as well as getting all of the Shiny tokens for it. Well, not all of it, but, you know, enough to get it to Shiny level 2, which is still pretty substantial for most of its ability. It's pretty similar to Baphomet, but for poison instead of burning. The only big difference being that it has a little bit of a different trait setup, with impervious and 50% spell reduction instead of extra damage to burning and whatever the other thing it had was. But it's very similar like that, except as a Mythic. It's okay. Not the greatest in the world, but it'll definitely have some use cases. And you'll be able to mess with it in a week from today. Unfortunately, this week is pretty tame. We were doing the video earlier today, though it came out a little bit late. But there's like nothing this week. We got like nothing. You know, standard event week, standard pet, standard weekend event. Not a single thing out of the ordinary. It's like the only time this entire month where like nothing is happening. But luckily we have a bunch of stuff the rest of the month. But yeah, it's a very tame week. Good catch-up week if you need to grind out anything. But anyways, one thing we do get this week though, with all the upgrades we have at this point, by later this week, we will have our extra gem spawn. So we'll have the extra life next, and then of course the gem spawn over there. Then we'll go for the magic, and then after the magic, I think we just start focusing magic on every single tree. Go back to like purple for the one upgrade we did. Go for all the magic, you know, keep going from there. And you know, just start sweeping all the magic that is on all of them. Windows magic is very far away if we want to go get it though. As we either have to go from here to there, or from here to there. Which just seems like it's closer. We have to go through an extra 300 you don't really need. But there's a lot of stuff we need to go get there. And then, you know, start going back to maybe some of the other trees. Though again, this one would have quite a bit too. Like if we went back on brown to go get all that over there. Blue would have to go really far too. We'd have to go all the way into there just to get double magic. Some of the other ones aren't as bad though. I don't know, there's a lot we still have to go through though. That's one nice thing about us being away for about 3 months soon. If nothing else, we will have like almost max magic by the time we come back. We'll leave with like a third of the magic. We'll come back with all of the magic. Is pretty much what's going to happen there. I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see chat. Hello, everyone. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Chris. Hello, Jets. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, everyone else. Welcome. You got 33 shiny Tinkatins last weekend. Nice. That's a lot. I think I only got like 1 or 2 in Sword and Shield. Let's see. All right, let's start clearing the dailies and everything, I guess. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. Oh yeah, some of it already did too. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. Mostly going to be focused on the evasion event, of course, today. Been really unlucky with these lately. I think I've gotten like 1 perfect in like the last month. Very unlucky on the free Dragonite, and we really need it. We're still at like 0 Dragonite. If you're wondering why our gem stack keeps going down, the main thing that's making it go down is I'm still buying Dragonite every single day. Just to try to replenish our Dragonite stack by the time next year rolls around and we get like another set of dragons or something. But yeah, still been doing that every single day. I would say we'd stop at some point, but realistically we have to do it basically until the next set of dragons come out. Unless I start to exceed like 10,000, like if they don't do it till like later next year. But 10,000 is like the bare minimum I want to have before it comes out. And I'll go check right now. I'm pretty sure we're like under 2,000 right now. Because we're only getting like 60 a day unless we get extra from something. Also, when I was farming Vault Event weekend earlier, a Dragonite gnome ran away. Because I was using like the Quick Kill Explore 1 team. And a full value Dragonite gnome actually ran. Let's see. Yeah, we're not even at 1,000 yet. Pretty much exactly at 1,000 because I'm about to get 60 and everything. But yeah, we're pretty much like just shy. Like tomorrow we'll have it. But we're pretty much only at 1,000 Dragonite. And I want to have like bare minimum 10,000 before we get there again. Which means that's a lot of gems. 10,000 Dragonite is what? They're 5 gems each, I believe. which means 10,000 Dragonite is 50,000 gems. That is a lot of gems. That's like half our current stack, not counting, you know, anything else that, you know, gets added up. Oh yeah, we got a haircut for Easter. I did it right before Easter, for Easter. But yeah, we had a haircut for about a week now, or 2 weeks. How long has Easter been? So I really struck a time, but whatever Easter was. I think was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember now. But yeah, whatever Easter was. Alright, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I was go to buy the Dragonite. I was wondering what that was. Because I see it's completed, but the thing I didn't do is buy the Dragonite. But yeah, it's going to cost us about 50,000 gems to get the rest of the Dragonite we need by the time the next set of dragons come out. That is half our stack. That's how much we used in the most recent Evil Dragons. Is half our current gems will be needed just to replenish our stack back to where it needs to be for the next set. Alright, so, with that out of the way, let's go to Evasion Event. Do I already have the correct team in there? Or oh, wait, actually, for the really early battles... Oh, so something I should probably show in the Monday video, too. I actually have to switch out this team. Well, for one, this is a low rarity team. But the other reason I need to switch it out is there anything here that hits all enemies, viably? Oh, wow, are we gonna have to use Shiny Leviathan? That's kind of funny. Wait, is that really it? Oh, wait, we're allowed to use any weapon, never mind. I forgot about that. Yeah, give me Ruby. Yeah, we're gonna need to do Ruby with a bunch of mana then. This one we have to use. And then everything else is just mana accumulation. Unfortunately, I only did get one of that legend. Maybe I should have gotten more than one. Because it's actually an instance where it isn't horrifically bad. If you had like two of this thing on your team, where is it? This was the 800 diamond, or not the 800 diamond, the, well, technically it is in the future now if you want to get it. But it was the 1,500 silver mark legend, I believe, last season or 2 seasons ago. It converts, it has blue link and it converts one red into blue. Having 2 of them for this team would actually be kind of nice. Since we don't, I'm not sure what the alternative is because you can't really go Leviathan. I guess we go, maybe a Deep King, and let's want to go like blue link or something. Really wish Azura had blue link. She's really strong, but she'd be even stronger if she had blue link. You know, I'm just gonna use her for mana, I think. We're gonna do it like this, I think. There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna go all in Ruby weapon, and I will use this class for 2 reasons. One is it gives us extra magic from having 4 times Merfolk, but of course it also has 20% this week, so it hits higher. So we're just gonna roll with this. Don't even need to change the banner. Though I guess can we do +2 blue, +1 purple without minusing something important? I can. Just in case we want to go for Azura, just so we could 2-turn Azura a little bit easier. And she also has Dispel in case we have Submerge or something. Alright, this should be the team we need. And we just have to run this until we get through all the battles. And of course, this is the Bounty Captain for the current event. Does he do anything extra? I didn't even bother checking him. Deals a bunch of damage, boosted by blue gems. Yeah, he does a little bit extra damage. Nothing crazy, but... you know, allows them to get in damage range a little bit better once we actually need him for towers. Hello, Mulo! Welcome, welcome. But yeah, a little bit of a team week this week, but next week, hey, we got a lot of things next week. We got the extra gem thing for the stars. We have the 10-year anniversary of the channel as far as us doing the weekly videos things. Technically, we've been doing it longer than that, but you know, as far as I count the anniversary at the we started doing it every week point. And that point was at the 10 years ago, or, you know, on April 23rd. Even though we technically were doing it for about a year and a half prior. We started as early as, like, the first month or something. Like, the actual game we started the week of, but, you know, actually posting stuff. We had stuff up within, like, the first few weeks. Which is, I don't really count the start until we started doing it literally every week. Which was April 23rd, 10 years ago. And it's very convenient because that is also a Guild War week. So we'll have a special code to hand out that day. With some actually amazing loot. Probably the strongest code we ever handed out ever. And, we'll of course have the Sword's Edge Guild Wars. Which is the main event happening next week for, you know, in-game stuff. Not counting the star event thing. But that should be get done passively, the star thingy. As long as you do dailies, you pretty much get that done automatically. Though it is nice, 320 stars. You do a lot with 320 stars. It's pretty much enough to do any one upgrade. Not counting the capstone. Hello, Ron! Welcome, welcome. What about Triton for 50% mana start? Do we need that? I feel like we're getting mana so quick we don't even need it. Is I really just need 1 ruby. And the hero class already has the 50% start. Like, nothing on the team needs the mana start. I guess maybe Azura, but I would have to replace Azura to put it on. Yeah, I was considering Deep King there. That was the first one I was considering. But really, at this point, I might just replace Azura for literally just Mana Link. Like, just a single blue Mana Link. What I really would want to do is replace it with another Sironia. But unfortunately, we only have one. Of Harrigan, shiny spell is so disappointing. There's a lot of shinies in the game that are kind of underwhelming. I feel like they, a lot of times, just deliberately give shininess to really weak troops. Just to make them average. Like, they almost balance some troops around them being max shiny. Like, they kind of just by default assume they're max shiny. And then they're just really bad by default, or, you know, in their normal state. But their actual, like, true state is, you know, when they're actually shinied. Because it definitely feels like there's been a handful of troops lately that are balanced like that. Where the max shininess is the assumption. I was gonna say, where's all the moves? I'm like looking for a blue over here or something. It's like the only move on the whole board. There sure were we replace out Azura. But at this point, the amount of time it would take to replace her probably isn't worth it, so we're just going to keep her there. Oh, I didn't think about that. We have the Easter Tower now. It's kind of funny. Normally, Invasion event happens a little bit beforehand. But because it didn't, I didn't even notice that. We have the Easter Tower for the Invasion event. That's kind of funny. Be a little late. Like a week or two late there, but there we go. Actually, the other game that we were playing at Brighter Shores did that too. The Easter event literally started the day after Easter. And for Gems of War, we got the Easter Tower like a week or two after actual Easter. But they always do it around the one at Easter, just the Invasion event fell at a really weird time. You know what mostly moved it as well? I'm pretty sure originally it was a little bit more aligned. But it was the delay in the patch that might have moved it a little. Because the most recent Astral Spire patch of 9.1 got delayed. I think that might have been what happened to move the alignment on the event. Because they kind of had to shuffle some of the events around. Because normally they get the tower event, you know, before Easter. So that they could do the little Easter tower thingy for it. This is actually the most annoying one of all the towers, by the way. It is actually the most annoying tower out of any holiday tower, or even just any tower in general. The main reason for it is it summons dragon eggs. Not only are dragon eggs particularly tanky, not the tankiest of, it's actually one of the least tanky of any of the zero attacks, but it's still pretty tanky, you know, just generally speaking, because it is a zero attack troop. But the biggest issue is it's not a tower. It just summons a normal dragon egg. And because of that, your normal tower killing team is really bad against it. It is very easily the most annoying tower in the entire game of any holiday or any normal tower. Because it resummons something that isn't a tower that is really tanky. Hello, Mason! How'd the weekend go? Pretty well. Hello, Minnie! Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we still have so many shiny keys. There's actually very, very few troops that have ever come out that has been worth shining. I'm trying to think of every single one I went on my way for. I did it for the Purple Synergy Dragon in case 4 times Purple Dragon ever became a thing. I did it for Urk, Lurk, and Dirk. Because at the time it was the best Witch Gem mechanic, but of course that now resides with whatever that goblin was called. The Tri-Goblin thingy that we got last season. The Immortal. There are still some instances you might use Urk, Lurk, and Durklo in a rare circumstance where you want a different immortal that isn't the immortal Troggoblin, but you still want Wish Gem mechanic. There might be an instance of that in the future, where there's just an immortal that is so strong that you would absolutely want to cast their ability, but you would kind of want to do it with like a Wish Gem mechanic or something. I can definitely see that scenario happening. I don't feel like it currently exists, but it would potentially eventually exist. Where you'd run Urk, Lurk, and Dirk over the immortal Troggoblin, just so you could run a different immortal, since you can only run one immortal. So thank you, Jason, for the continued support. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Hey, we actually casted Azura. I think that's like the second time total we've done it this whole time. And we're like 8 battles away from ditching this team completely. And now we could do the real team. One thing I wish we did have access to, which is actually a problem with quite a few invasion teams. We don't really have any extra way to create more skulls. There's one thing that really holds back the damage potential on a lot of invasion teams. Is the kingdom just doesn't really have a good skull option, or none at all. These all invasion events, regardless of restriction, is a very skull-oriented mode. Just because you're doing 5 times damage to literally everything on the opposing team. So it's one of the few times you actually get really insane skull damage. Aside from the towers with 75% reduction, but some of them have a rage to go with it too. Which, even though they're immune to everything, they're not immune to rage. There's actually 2 things that immunity does not have immune to. Enrage and Charm, oddly enough. Charm and Enrage still work on them. Hello, Kikolia! Welcome, welcome. Hello, Quipom! Welcome, welcome. Also, I do have a dentist appointment this week. It shouldn't affect anything with the channel, though. It's this Thursday. And this should hopefully, fingers crossed, finally be the last tooth that needs to be removed for any reason. From all the stuff that happened before. It should be the very, very last one. Oh, so there's something, some other thing we're going to be streaming this Wednesday. Or at least it's starting this Wednesday. I'm not sure how much of I'm going to be streaming. I definitely at least want to stream its launch day. Alright, there we go. Alright, now that we're at 4 towers, let me go and get the real team from the weekly video. And we should be good to go. I don't think there's any change we need to make here. But it runs the old tower troop, the new tower troop, and of course you have to use the new one. Wanda Stars defeated mana. And still using the converter extra blue troop that we were using earlier. And now we just one-shot everything one by one. I guess we could have still kept using Ruby while I was still one-shotting, but I was about to stop one-shotting in like a few battles. If it wasn't already at the point where we stopped one-shotting. How much damage is Ruby? Let me just double-check again. Just want to see. Ruby... Ruby in this context is 85. Yeah, it's already at the point it stops. Okay. Just making sure. These are already at the point that they're higher than 85. So he swapped it out pretty much at the exact point it would have stopped one-shotting. Because this battle right here would not one-shot. That's really nice too, because both of these use blue. So whenever you get that blue convert and it works out like that one turn, we get a lot of value since any overfill goes into the other one. And of course, they're both hitting for 5 times. Technically, the new guy's hitting for 10 times in a sense. Not because he actually has a 10 times multiplier, but of course the invasion troop has double magic. So this thing only has 91 compared to this thing's 166 from his double magic thingy. I guess that's a boost ratio, that's not that bad. So you should pretty much one-shot the whole time. Also, you should have taken a skull there. I gotta be careful. I create so many submerged gems. I was wondering where that submerge came from the other battle. Because I didn't cast a troop that gives them submerge. Just because I keep creating one submerged gem every turn. And ever so occasionally the enemy's taking it. Luckily we're not using anything right now that hits all enemies simultaneously, so it shouldn't ever matter. But yeah, this guy's not too bad for an evasion troop. The amount of boost ratio he has is definitely above average for a mortal. I mean, not a mortal, for a invasion troop. Oh, so I really got to start killing these egg towers first. These are the most annoying things ever. There is never a more annoying tower event than today or this week. Anytime we see an egg tower, it should be our first priority to kill. Because if that thing gets a summon, you gotta throw like 5 hits at that thing. Because you go from doing 5 times extra damage to 1 times, or you know, base damage. Like, they're more important to kill than the brown-blue towers that are normally like highest priority to target. Just because of their high score reduction. But they're even higher priority than that. Try using Skyla for Bone Storm. Oh yeah, we could go down that angle too, I forgot about that. But yeah, Skyla has perpetual Bone Storm. Or actually, I think it's every... Wait, is it per turn or is it per extra turn? I think it's literally every turn. So yeah, you would have it automatically if you use Skyla. Like per turn, she reestablishes Skull Storm. Hello, Michael! Welcome, welcome. Oh wait, is it on extra turn? Okay. Maybe we won't switch to Skyla then. Because we're not always guaranteed to get it. Oh, once again, I should kill the egg tower. Let's see if he actually gets a cast off this entire time. I'm hoping the answer is no. The only thing that's going to make it not as bad is, of course, we do have double magic on the invasion captain guy. So if he does summon an egg, it's, you know, we have a little bit more damage to go with it. But yeah, you can have as many as like 4 egg towers on a battle. Right, we're still at the point where Skull's one-shot. That's nice. One thing that's pretty nice is the other troop, even though he doesn't have double magic, he does have 20% extra stats this week, because I'm pretty sure the extra stats were Merlantis Merfolk, aka the entire kingdom. But because of that... Actually, no, she didn't end up getting it. What's her combination? Oh, but it's because she's from Blackhawk. But, yeah, we have a lot of extra stats this week, and because of that, he does have 20% more skull damage. So even though he doesn't have the double magic, he does get the, you know, 20% from that. Which is still fully helping his skulls. They both have the whole full skull damage. It's one of the whole reasons why you normally want to put the new one in second slot and not first. So that you can utilize it for the fact that it has double magic. Because otherwise they're both doing the same skull damage. The special one for the week doesn't get any extra skull damage. Oh, we don't have any Cascade there. Good taking it away where we're forced to get double skull so we can take more. And just go boom boom and we're good to go. Good thing we don't need to worry about the enemy having Submerge. There's one really weird thing with Merlantis builds. They do have some things to hit all enemies simultaneously. Yet a good handful of them end up getting, you know, a Submerge gem mechanic. Which to some degree is somewhat counterproductive to all the things that hit everything simultaneously. They do have a few things that kind of counter Submerge. Like even her ability kind of does, though it doesn't work on them, of course. Where she has like the 50% chance to kill them when they have Submerge. But, you know, it doesn't do anything here since they have immune to insta-kill. But I guess that's kind of the gimmick on something like her specifically. It doesn't work on quite a few of the other things within the kingdom, but her specifically actually kind of okay with Submerge Gem. Because if they get Submerged, she can 50% of the time just insta-kill whatever got Submerged. But she can't here because, you know, they're all immune. But normally she'd be able to in a, you know, normal battle. Oh, right there I said I couldn't insta-kill it. That's funny. I said that one pop-up was for. Because it rolled insta-kill on something with immune. But yeah, like every single week, honestly, Invasions generally feels like one of the easiest events. At least from like a team build perspective. Because it's the same team every invasion, basically. The whole premise is to run double invasion troop. One of them obviously being the new one. Whatever your best mana accumulating weapon is. And then like one other thing. And there's pretty much never an exception to that. There's just every invasion troop team ever. Oh no, the egg finally egged. Oh, also on top of that, it gains barrier. If you thought it was already bad enough that it creates a egg like that, it also gets barrier still, like any other tower. So not only does it get the standard barrier, but it also creates a really tanky egg. Luckily, we're not deep enough yet for that egg to be that annoying. But it scales based on half their magic. So once they get a really high magic level, it becomes annoying, because like right now, if one was to do it's like level 24 or something, which is why that egg was so easy to kill. But once you get deep, we're talking like level 100 egg, level 200 egg, because it's not like the hero class, where, you know, when you're fighting like player versus player, your level caps out at level 20. But for, you know, general teams like this, there's no cap. I guess technically 1,000. But, you know, when they're summoning it based on magic, there's, you know, no cap in a sense. So if they were to get 1,000 magic, you know, they would get 1,000 summon. But, you know, if they have like 50 magic, 50 summon, 100 magic, 100 summon, so on and so forth. So it starts to get really tanky later on. We're luckily early enough that that summoned egg isn't too big a deal, though. Usually we just one-shot it with a skull or a spell, but eventually it gets to the point where we have to hit it like 3, 4, 5 times before it dies. By like Sunday. So what's that on our team that keeps giving us magic every time? Is that from Tidecaller? Yeah, all Merfolk allies gain magic when an enemy dies. I was wondering what was triggering that. I'm trying to remember on my team what's causing that, but yeah, it's hero. Because every time I keep taking a skull that does lethal, or just a skull in general, because they're all lethal right now. I keep seeing that. It's like, oh yeah, it's from hero. Because you keep seeing the animation like midway through the screen. Like right there. And right there. But it's from the 2 magic we're getting from hero. And it's only on kill, not when we're taking a skull. But obviously every skull is a kill at the moment. So it keeps happening every skull we take. So that's one of the final hero perks that is so bad, by the way. It's actually insane the disparity between how bad and how good some of these are. And this is one of the really horrific ones. Only 2 magic per Merfolk kill. Or, you know, 2 all Merfolks per kill that you do. Because generally you're only going to be getting a kill or two before you, like, you know, wipe everything out. So at best case scenario, it's doing like 4 or 6 magic. Like absolute best case scenario is like 6 magic, unless you're up against like a mega summon team or something. Even then you'll be lucky if you get more than like 10 magic from it. But it's one of the few that's just absurdly bad. Especially when you compare it to how good some of them are. Like the billion immunities that the stone tree has. Or something like the 7% chance to insta-kill every time you do a kill, stuff like that. And then you see one that's like, oh, here's like a few extra HP, or a few extra attack, or a few extra magic. Some of them that give stats aren't that bad, though. Like the one for Rogue is all Rogues gain 1 magic per extra turn. That one's not bad. But then there's things like the Merfolk gaining 2 magic per kill. Or the Undead, which I think is like a HP and magic or whatever it is per kill. Like something really small. They pretty much already won the battle before you even get a few stats from it. I know I'm going to give it a ton of purple. Could have used that to get full mana on the other guy. So I'm kind of surprised. With all the battles that we're doing on the Monday, the default guy is actually still going to be enough to one-shot the whole time. We do about 400 something damage with him. It's not too bad. I'll definitely one-shot for the rest of today, and probably until like Wednesday or Thursday. I'll eventually reach a point where he stops one-shotting though. But the guy with double magic should pretty much never stop one-shotting. Yep, nice little level. I haven't gotten too many of these since the new screen, but we'll throw it in the brown. We're getting really close to 2026 and 2026 as well. Yeah, they haven't added new audio to the game in a very long time. We still got a lot of the very similar voice lines they just keep reusing from ages ago. Oh, we're gonna have to double poke here. That's kind of annoying. I feel like a lot of people don't play with audio on, though. I normally do. But I feel like it's more common that people don't than do. Oh, let's do a poll for it real quick. Let's see. Do you play Gems of War with the audio on? Yes. Sometimes. Only some... Let's see. How should I do this? Only some of the audio enabled. Sometimes on. Or no. I think those are correct choices. But the difference between the middle two is, do you play with, like, the music off but the sound effects on? Or even vice versa? And then the other one is just, you know, you occasionally have it on, the other times you just completely have it off. Is I pretty much effectively always have it on. But my assumption has always been that people generally don't play with audio on. Let's kill the Valraven Tower first, let's get out of the way. I keep forgetting, they moved the pole to the bottom rather than the top. It keeps throwing me off. They changed that a couple months ago. I haven't done that many polls in the last few months. But YouTube's thing used to show it at the top rather than the bottom. Oh, I thought that was... I was thinking as if that was a blue. That's not where that is. Alright, 5 battles to go. And then the only other main thing we really have to go clean up then is the whatchamacallit event, the PvP. So I guess we'll go do Underspire a little bit too, just to mess with the team. Underspire team's actually really different this week. Even though we're basically just using a 4x Merlantis team for this, though I guess we're using her, which is technically not. Because Merfolk is, you know, basically the same thing as a Merlantis team a lot of times. Because this game mode has so much immune to insta-kill, there are a handful of troops that you can't get away with. And the most noteworthy one of that, well I guess Piskia as well. But the most noteworthy one in that is Maelstrom Dagannoth. The only problem is I'm not going to need it for the really low level range. But if you want to go through all of Underspire this week, it's actually pretty free. As long as you have Maelstrom Dagannoth. Actually, now that I think about it, am I going to have to run a Leviathan team? I didn't even think about that just now. Because if we're only going through floor 1 and 2, I think we legitimately have to use a Leviathan team, which is kind of funny. Xbox just got an update to Gems of War? What, today? You telling me we're getting a patch today? There wasn't supposed to be a patch this week. This is like a really minor bug fix one. It was small. Okay, yeah, it might have just been fixing a bug on console. It could have been like an Xbox specific bug or something. Or maybe something with the shop with the most recent update. Because I know they were having some trouble with that on PlayStation or something. Oh, it hit PC as well? Interesting. I'll go check after we do this battle. I'll go restart real quick. I'm pretty sure it's just some kind of minor bug fix or something, though. I don't know, does the forum or the other thing have any notes on it yet? Let me check the official site. Patch notes. Oh, they don't even have 9.1 here. They're slacking. They don't even have their 9.1 update in the patch notes. Home. Nope, nothing over there. Forum. Nope, not seeing any. Yeah, there's no, nothing on it at the moment. Maybe I'll restart after this and see if we get something. Alright, invasion completed for today. Grab all of our loot. Alright, let me go check, the update. Did we get an update? Nope, that is OBS. Where's the game? Did it just download something? Completed today at 8:45. Yep, it just downloaded something. It downloaded an update seconds ago. But yeah, I got some kind of update. Very small. Like, it updated before I could even tell it updated. I had to go to the update checker. It downloaded so quick. So yeah, it must have been a really, really small update. But yeah, I assume it's just some kind of bug fix. Because I'm not seeing any patch notes anywhere or anything. We can also see if it moved a version number, which I highly doubt it really did. Moved to 0.5. Where's version number again? It's over here. Not there. It's over, yeah, it didn't move to 0.5. So it must have just been a very small bug fix patch. Otherwise, this would have been 9.1.5 or 9.2. But But yeah, it's a very, very minor bug fix of some kind or something. Which is probably why we don't have a patch note or anything. But yeah, it's just a bug fix patch or something. Or fixing the shop or some other thing. Alright, what do we need here? We did that, we did that. We still gotta do Underspire. And then the only other thing we have is PvP. So let's go to PvP now. Go get our buff rolling, go from there. Let me get the magic first. Which I haven't even hit 20,000 PvP points yet, by the way. Next week we'll probably go for top 3 for PvP. Both because it's the Guild War week, but it's also the anniversary week of the channel, so I'll be grinding a little bit more than we normally would be. That's because we'll be streaming every Guild War day. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. And now we just got to do the mech and then 3 normal battles. Guess we'll do the 3 right now. So there's no particular location we need to do it in. We're just using the same team. And then we'll go build a mech team. We could go double Tina. I guess we'll still use what's-her-name just to go and feed it mana. We'll probably just use Bork, the Immortal, Tina, and Wand or something. And just have Tina to offset for a little bit extra damage. In case there's like a troop we need to clean up. Someone stated in Guild they fixed Astral Spire soft lock issue for some people. So yeah, it was just a minor bug fix then. I haven't actually seen any soft lock with it. Was it from getting a certain upgrade or something? It was on phone nor on PC. I've never actually soft locked on that screen. Alright, it should be the last battle we need. And now we just gotta do the mech battles. And the only thing left is, I guess just do our daily Underspire battles. Alright, there we go. Alright, so, mech. For this, we definitely want to go Bork. 100% Bork angle. Just so we can use every color, we're gonna go Wand. We'll then go the Immortal. Even though she's not a mech. I forgot, this guy resides here. He's so bad. We'll give him his little upgrades. That's the one from this season. But he just creates lycanthropy gems to go and transform your whole team to not useful things. And then the only other thing we need is Tina then. And that should be everything. And then we'll just go mech hero class for the extra little bit of stats. And because 50% start for Bork. And then let's go like double brown or something. Keep it simple. I guess brown blue could be okay too. Just double brown banner. There we go. Alright, that should be all we need. Just cast Bork, get all of our mana, go from there. Brown blue could have been good too here. The only problem is we are kind of blocking her quite a bit. But once we get all the mana going, we just have infinite mana. Regardless of how much resummon they do or anything else. I don't know, it might even be worth dropping Wand and just going Bork into her. But at this point, we'll just stick with this. But yeah, Bork plus her probably is a little bit better, though. Wand is just blocking a little bit too much in this context. Yeah, at some point I can click this button. Oh gosh, I guess the infinite loop troop. We're going to need that 20% to work. Please, 20%. You can also die. Hello, 20% or 15%. Come on. I think we just got him with the 20% though. Like the extra turn denying Astral Spire. Because I'm pretty sure that last one he still got an extra turn, but it got denied from the Spire. Which is why we got that thing. It's mostly just so we can stop infinite loops from, you know, doing their thing. He's even at only 20%. Still pretty solid. Of course, we'd eventually want to get that all the way to max, but that's really low priority to do immediately. Fun endgame content. They've been needing something, a new patch that does an infinite grind for such a while now. Almost no patches we've been getting lately allow you to infinite grind. The last, like, insanely good one was 2019 with Trait Stones. The other one, I guess, was technically Merchants, but it cost gems to really be able to utilize them. Yeah, level 15 Explorer would be interesting. I'm mostly curious to see what they're going to do with the Astral Spire power creep. Because they did specifically mention that a lot of future content will be scaled based on the new Astral Spire power. Obviously, all current content isn't because it came before Astral Spires. But they did mention all future content is going to put Astral Spire power into consideration. So I'm curious to see exactly what they do with that. Alright, so we did all that. We did all those battles. Alright, that's everything then. Though, while I'm there, there's too many things that are highlighted. Let me go click them all. And then we'll go do Under Spire real quick. PvP goals, we'll grab those later. PvP season, that I do want to grab now. Collect that. Also, I'm saving all my burning marks. This is one of the first seasons ever I'm not spending my burning marks. Mostly because I want to try avoid getting this guy. So I'm going to be waiting until next season before we even use any. It'll be the first and only PvP season I've ever done that. But yeah, we're just saving every burning mark from this season for next season. Alright, so we did all that, we did all that. Campaign, I need 14 more battles. Pretty sure Under Spire counts. Let's go do all of our Under Spire battles. Actually, let me get the Cup of Peace because I don't think we have one there yet. But then again, the team I gotta go use is actually different than what I have shown here. This is what you would use once you start getting deeper. But for the very, very, very early battles, this is not the team we actually want to be running this early. Just because it's way too overkill to have insta-kill on, you know, these low stats. What's kind of sad is I think we have to go Leviathan build. Remember that one useless shiny we got the other month? There's actually something he's useful for. Of all the troops that hit all enemies, he's technically the least worse. There are things like the Mythic and stuff like that, but they have higher mana costs. So sadly, we're going to have to use Leviathan. What do I need here? I need like blue, yellow. +2 blue, +1 yellow, minus green is fine here. Alright, that's gonna have to be the build, I guess. But yeah, we're actually using Shiny Leviathan. I think this is legitimately the first time I've used it since he came out. We only have him at base level 1 because we didn't bother buying it that season. Actually, I just realized I never bothered giving him his elite levels. I should maybe go do that. He gains a little bit of magic. You know what? I'm going to do that now. Because we're going to need to do that anyways when we go upgrade Merlantis. So let me go give him his stats now. But yeah, this area is so down bad for a proper full AoE that Shiny Leviathan is actually legitimately the strongest option. Which, not ideal. Shiny Leviathan is not good. But is the best this kingdom has for an actual AoE. It's technically not best total damage, because you would get better value from the mythic that one blue mythic, whatever it's called. I forget her name. Aquaticus. You get better overall damage for Aquaticus, but multi-hit splashes are working a little bit differently. I don't think the patch that most recently happened fixed it, where it'll sometimes try targeting something that's already dead, and then ruins all your damage. I don't believe the most recent patch of 9.1 fixed that yet. It's been a bug for like a couple patches now. And they still haven't reverted it back yet, I don't believe. Because what's supposed to happen when you cast something like that is, if your splash damage gets a kill, the target is supposed to retroactively retarget something that, you know, it would actually hit. But in the current state of the game, when splash damage kills something when you're doing multiple hits, the extra hits could still try to target something that's already dead. It doesn't retroactively retarget anymore, which is something it used to do, but then magically started not doing as of a couple patches ago. And I'm pretty sure it still has not been fixed yet. 10 and 16, we want to go this way. So far, no one is on the some of the audio enabled button. Only 25% on just always yes, though. Which I would say is my category. There are some, like, really, really rare circumstances where I don't have it on, but, like, on phone. Like, obviously, if I'm in a public area or something. But, generally speaking, I would say I always have it on. Obviously, there are a few exceptions to when I would have it on. Like, if we're playing on phone at, like, a dentist's office or something. Or while I'm waiting for the plane or something similar. Like, obviously, in those situations, I have the audio off. But generally speaking, I always have audio on. Yeah, this is probably the first and only time we ever get to use Leviathan as a shiny. He is somehow the strongest AoE troop in this kingdom, which I actually did not realize when he was the shiny troop that week. It's a really low bar, though. Because he's as standard as an AoE troop gets. Like, you almost can't even make an AoE troop weaker than it. It's like the bare minimum for an AoE troop. You can tell this troop was added like several years ago, but how dated its mechanic just works, or lack thereof. Oh, we're already out of torches. Oh yeah, because we're just doing the free ones. That makes sense. I was gonna say that. I felt like it went pretty quickly. Well, all torches down. We still need higher level content with bigger and better rewards. Yeah, I would love to see something like that. Them expanding Explore. Them adding some new game mode that actually puts into consideration Astral Spire power. Because so far we don't have any game modes that scale to Astral Spires. I think the closest thing we kind of have is maybe like doing a level 500 faction. But of course those existed beforehand. But it's actually kind of insane. Like what a level 500 faction looked like for Hall of Guardians at launch. Compared to now. Where you have all of these potion effects and all these extra stats that you didn't have before. Or not this one, where is it? Here. You have all these potion effects and extra stats that you didn't have before. Actually, I think they always had the stats. It's the potion effects that's new, though. Like, these only came in, like, a couple years ago. Like, 4 or 5-ish years ago. You did not have these at launch. You didn't get to get the enchant potion or the explosion or, you know, any of these. The main reason they did it is to make it so people that don't have as much time on, like, a Tuesday event or a weekend event can still end up getting, you know, getting everything. As you get potions just from, you know, maxing out your levels and getting to certain level ranges. You end up getting all of these potions unlocked. One of each of them by 200. And you keep getting more powers, I think, like every 100 or something. But, yeah, they made it like this so that there was a way to be able to do it without having to wait for an event. But this is so much more power compared to before. Because before, when you wanted to do it, assuming you weren't doing it when it was an event, if you're just doing it normally, you would have none of these potion effects. You'd probably have a way lower horde level, like 100 at best. And, you know, everything was weaker by then. Like, you had way less stats, you had way less kingdom upgrades, Astral Spires didn't exist. Like, there were so many things that made it harder compared to today. Where now 500 pure factions are kind of a joke. Like, obviously they're still somewhat hard, especially for some locations. But if you're in, like, the end game and you're doing a 500 pure faction, it is so free these days. At least relative to what it was at launch. It's probably one of the most power-crept game modes, even though you're literally running the exact same team for some of them. It's just you have so many extra stats and effects that you didn't have back then that you do have now. Oh, is that everything then? I guess it's like everything. We still gotta do like 7 more normal battles. I guess we'll do some PvP battles real quick. Let's see, how are we doing on ladder? Maybe we'll go get top 3 this week. Because we are in a really easy bracket, so it wouldn't be that hard to go and do if we want to go try for it later. But yeah, let's send some battles in middle, I guess. Just with a quick kill team. Yeah, we also didn't have power gems back then. Like, power gems didn't even exist at all. So sometimes there's a really good power gem effect on a given season that makes a event really easy. Though I do feel like power gems as of recently have been spawning way less often. Like, I almost forget what the power gem even is for this season. I believe it's poison gem. But you may notice we've seen almost like 0 poison gems this entire day. Or, you know, just all during all this. I'm not sure why, but they have toned down the amount of gem spawns you get from seasonal gem by like 10x compared to what it used to be. Like before every single battle, you'd probably see at least one, if not a couple. Yet I'm not sure if I've seen a single poison gem all day. Despite that being the seasonal gem right now. That's supposed to be falling on the board. There it is. Found one. I know that I'm looking for it. Maybe it is still okay. Spawn rate wise. Because the second we're starting to look for it, it's like, up there it is. This also kind of blends in because it's a green gem. Hello, Defiant. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, we're pretty much going to have, as far as all the really, really useful drops, or buffs, we're pretty much going to have, like, quote-unquote max Astral Spires by the end of this year. If you just keep up with the dailies between now and the end of the year. Because by that point, you'll have all magic, all armor for every relevant troop that needs armor boost ratio. Every effect that matters unlocked at least once. And then the only thing you'd be doing from there is unlocking the rest of the stats that don't matter as much, like HP and everything. As well as, you know, starting to work up capstones. But all, like, the really relevant buff for Astral Spires, you would have done within, you know, like half a year, a little over half a year. Like, definitely within your first year of doing them. Which would, of course, be applicable for newer players as well, since it's a pretty static amount that you get per, you know, day, per week, per month. It's a very static amount unless they add more ways to get it in the future. Well, within a year, you easily have every single relevant buff. But we'll get to see what they do with future ones. We just don't really know what rate they're going to be coming in. Are they going to start doing one like every patch or something else? Because they got to do 38 of them if we're going to do one per kingdom. So if they did one every, like, major patch, so let's say, like, 4-ish a year, that would take them, like, 10 years to finish it. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what the pacing is going to be. Because if they did do 4 a year, it would literally take, like, 10 years for them to finish. Which would be even longer than Underspire. So I assume they're going to be a little bit quicker than that, but it's been a little over a month and we still haven't seen one yet. And the bare minimum have to do one like every 3 months, if not even more frequent than that. Alright, that should be all the buffs we need. I think we get +2 magic as well that we can use this week and next week from the campaign magic. Not sure we could really do much with it, but you know, 2 magic's 2 magic. Nothing else. We'll have it for next Guild War. I think we have like +6 magic for it. Which is good because we're going to need it for Sword's Edge. Sword's Edge is not a particularly great category. So the fact that it aligned perfectly with this campaign so you can have all the extra stats is kind of nice. Because even though Astral Spires don't work there, one thing that does is the campaign bonus. So we'll have that 6 magic. Actually, we'll have all these stats for next week. Well, 15 HP, 6 attack, 10 armor, and 6 magic for next Guild War. Of course, the enemy will likely have this too. But, you know, we'll still be able to utilize it. But pretty much both sides will have it. Alright, let me go unlock it. We got our +2 magic from that. We also got the Terror card, but of course it's not too relevant. Imperial Deed, though. But yeah, we got the Queen of Runes. Unless this is used to, summon something. I mean, create something from Soulforge. You know, this is just useless as is every Terror card. But next week, we get the Mythic. Mythic next week. Next week's Monday. Week from today. Is that everything then? I believe that's everything. And of course, Astral Spire-wise, we're currently working up around. Over the next week, we'll be able to get this HP into the +1 gem. And then after that, I think we're just going for magic. I'll probably go get the magic from this one right here, because we're right next to it anyways. And then probably start working up Purple Tree, I think. And start dividing and conquering on purple to go get all the magic here, and, you know, keep going from there. On every other tree. Gonna go for the 2 trees that have +8 first. Like, you know, purple and the other one, I think it was yellow. And, go for those first, and then, you know, start just getting the magic from all of them then. Because at that point, we're pretty much have all the really, really good buffs. There's a few other ones we might want to pick up eventually, like the anti-gem spawn ones and stuff like that, but I think I'm prioritizing the magic a little bit more. The extra stats and the extra magic just do a little bit more value than denying a few extra gem spawn or something. But anyways, guys, any other questions, any other anythings? Otherwise, I think we'll be calling it here. We'll be back as far as Gems of War streams next week on Monday, a week from today, to go do the new Mythic. We'll also have the 10-year anniversary stream on Thursday, as well as next week doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday stream for Guild War. But that specific Thursday is not only the first day of Guild War, but also the 10-year anniversary Tech Leader channel. And we have a special code for that as well. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's see. So thank you, Ron. Greatly appreciated. But anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will catch you guys later. And goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.